Yay or Nay Show with Alex C. A sports show for sports fans by a sports fan. And now, here is Alex C.
All right, here we go. It is the Yay or Nay Show with Alex C., a sports show for sports fans by a sports fan. Really quickly, I want to answer a good question. I had somebody who says, how come you're always moving your head from left to right? So for those of you who watch me on the video, the reason why I'm always moving my head from left to right is because normally to my left is my Instagram feed, which I'm not able to do with the rest of the feeds that I do. So I have a computer here. I got my phone over here with my Instagram. That's the reason why I'm always bobbing from left to right. So just to answer that question really quickly, I've had a few people ask me the question, so there it is. Now you know the answer. Got a few things to go over today. Let's start with Major League Baseball. You know, I love baseball, and I really love the postseason. And I think this postseason has been phenomenal. Absolutely exciting. A lot of action, a lot of stories, a lot of things happening with the Yankees. Everybody upset because the Yankees aren't still there, complaining about the payroll. But even though they're complaining about the payroll, they're saying they need to blow it up and spend $500 million more and add a bunch more stars. And it's like, no, you don't. But we already had that show. We're not going to revisit that one and have that show again. But with that being said, yesterday there was some serious great action. Giants and the Dodgers. That was great. Dodgers were favored. I laid my money down on the Dodgers. I believed Vegas. I thought they were correct, and they were. Dodgers won 7-2. Game 5 is tomorrow. Vegas has the Dodgers favored once again to win and move on. I don't know if I am following them this time, though. I think the Giants are the better team. There's a reason why they had the best team, or I should say, the best team and the best record in baseball. And I don't know. Now, I haven't decided which way I'm going to bet yet in regards to this game. I don't know which way I'm going to go. Giants, Dodgers. At this point, at this particular moment, to me, it is a toss-up. I don't know which way I'm going to go, but it should be a very, very exciting game. I might even stay away from betting on this game, to be honest. Astros and the White Sox. Look, there was never a doubt in my mind the Astros were going to get past the White Sox. There was a lot of scoring in regards to this series. These were great games, a lot of offense, not a lot of great pitching. I don't know if it's going to continue to stay that way as the Astros move forward. I also don't know if the Astros can't get great pitching, if they're going to have the ability to sustain the offense to move forward. I think the lack of pitching might be their Achilles heel. However, with that being said, as long as they're enjoying this offense, they will do well. They blew up the White Sox yesterday 10-1, winning the series 3-1. Big congratulations going out to the Houston Astros. Tampa Bay, again, the team with the smallest payroll in baseball, doing well, but losing to the Red Sox. Ultimately, the Red Sox win the series, and I have been saying this all along. The Red Sox, arguably one of the two hottest teams in baseball over the last 30 days leading up to the playoffs. But if you go from 30 days to present, I could easily make the argument the Boston Red Sox are the hottest team in baseball, defeating Tampa Bay 6-5 and winning the series 3-1. Congratulations to the Boston Red Sox. Brewers and the Braves, another one. Brewers lose 4-5 and they lose the series 3-1. Look, the Brewers, they had great pitching. They had no offense. I think when I look at the Brewers, and if I look at them this year, and if I look at them years past, I think this is a problem that the Brewers have enjoyed for quite a while. Good pitching, make it to the postseason. When it counts, can't put the runs on the board to win. Not that they have to get into shootouts to win, because typically they don't. They just don't put the runs on the board. This happened to be a game where it was kind of a shootout, and it looked like the Brewers were going to be able to sustain it and maybe even win it. I was looking at it like I had the Braves down on my bets. Vegas had the Braves down to win, and I believe the Brewers were going to pull off the upset as I'm watching the game, and they didn't. The Braves pull away late, not like they really pulled away, scored the winning run, I believe it was the 8th inning, and they win the series and the game 5-4 and the series 3-1. Congratulations to the Atlanta Braves. There's been a lot of great baseball. Man, I'm telling you, I would love it if baseball added a couple of more teams to MLB. I really would. I just find baseball to be exciting, and I find Major League Baseball postseason to be very exciting. Okay, let's get into the NFL power rankings. As we know, we are going towards week number 6. Let's kick it off from the bottom to the top. And at the bottom, Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, everybody I know in the national media is against Urban Meyer. They all hate him. They've got all these reasons why they hate him. They keep coming up with these new rhymes and reasons to hate the guy. Look, I think that there's two kind of different stories when it comes to Urban Meyer. Number one is there are some people that say that Urban Meyer's trying to get fired, that he's doing these things because he wants to get fired because he's looking at all these open college jobs, and a lot of people, or I should say some people, think that Urban Meyer is more interested in going back to college than he is continuing as an NFL coach. Perhaps he took the NFL job just to be a bridge, and now he's ready to go back and coach college ball. There are certain people that do believe this. Now, not just fans, but also national media guys. There are other national media guys that just think, look, he's a failure. He's no good. He was a great college coach. He was a legend as a college coach. He's never going to be that in the NFL. Too many mistakes. The mistakes he's making are bad, and they're very bad, and he's just going to get himself fired. A lot of NFL analysts don't see this guy lasting more than 1 or 2 seasons with Jacksonville, and then he's gone. Some people are saying that he should be gone at the end of the season, irregardless. He's been a distraction, dumb mistakes, get rid of him. Otherwise, he's going to impede Trevor Lawrence's growth, and Jacksonville should find another coach and move on. Again, no matter how you slice it and dice it, everything I just got done saying is everybody in the national media hates Urban Meyer. I'm going to do a poll on that today. So go to my Twitter feed at Yay or Nay Podcast and answer that poll question, because I'm going to put that up on a poll today. How do you feel about Urban Meyer? Got a couple of other questions up there as well. I'll give you the results of those polls tomorrow. But again, new questions will be up there today at Yay or Nay Podcast, the address to the Twitter page. Go and answer those questions. Meanwhile, coming in at number 31, we have the Houston Texans at 1-4. There's not much to talk about here. There's not much to see here. That's the Houston Texans. Now moving up to number 30, the Detroit Lions. Look, they're 0-5, but they are a hard and heavy 0-5. They fight hard. They believe in their coach. That coach has a system. He's got those players playing way above their means, and they are doing it. They're just not winning. They're not getting the result you ultimately want as an NFL franchise or coach, but he has that team fighting hard, and eventually they're going to pull one out. All right, now the next one is a team that, again, I don't think they should be above the Detroit Lions. I think they should be below the Detroit Lions, even though they got one victory and Detroit does not. This team's not very good, and they're confusing. This is just a confusing team. I don't know what to think about this team. I don't know what to think about my former 49er defensive coordinator, Robert Saleh. 1-4, New York Jets coming in at number 29. I guess the big question is Zach Wilson, right? Everybody pretty much wants to give up on him. And I don't know that when you're a pure rookie coming in, you want to give up on somebody who's barely going into their 6th week of the season and say he's not the guy when or lead a team to the playoffs. But with that being said, rookie coach, rookie quarterback, those are two things that are bad for an NFL team. The Jets had to know as an organization they were going to run into these problems. They are 1-4, has anything to do with Zach Wilson necessarily, other than he's a rookie quarterback. He's got a lot of learning to do. Let's wait and see how he does next year, and maybe he might even need another 2 years. Not to mention, the Jets need to go draft him some help, offensive line, more offensive power pieces. There's a lot of things the Jets got to do. So I don't know why these national media guys are so quick to pull the trigger. New York Giants, number 28. Another team that, again, I get it. They're 1-4. I wouldn't put them above the Lions. That's just me. I'm a bigger believer in the Lions than I am the Giants. I know there's a lot of people trying to say that Daniel Jones is not the problem in New York, that they don't have a coaching problem in New York. It's just about shoring up that offensive line, maybe fire the general manager, get a new general manager, but they need to shore up that offensive line, and they need to put some more pieces around Daniel Jones on the offensive side. I could make the argument they got some defensive problems that need to be helped out as well. They've got a lot of problems, a lot of holes to fill. Don't know if you can do it in one off season. This is still a franchise on the rebuild. And even though you got all these guys saying Daniel Jones ain't the problem, I don't know that I agree. I'm not out on Daniel Jones. I'm not saying they should get rid of him. I'm just still undecided. How about that? We'll just leave it there as undecided. All right. Now, moving on to number 27, the Miami Dolphins. Here's a team that, again, I would not, even though they're 1-4, put them above the Detroit Lions. I'm not seeing any of the fight they had in them last year. I'm not seeing anything impressive from this coaching staff that I saw last year. And I just don't see anything in the Miami Dolphins. They're just not doing anything to impress me at all. I would not put them above the Detroit Lions. However, they are coming in at number 27. Keep in mind, this is the Four-Letter Network's power rankings that I'm reading you. Falcons. I was jumping into basketball for a minute there. Atlanta Falcons, 2-3 at number 26. I know people are going to make fun of me because I've been saying this pretty much this whole time. Another team that I would not put in front of the Detroit Lions. I get it. The Detroit Lions are winless, but I'm not seeing anything from Atlanta. Maybe if Atlanta has to come in at number 26, maybe. Then if that's the case, I go ahead and drop Detroit maybe one position behind Atlanta. How about that for my compromise? Maybe Detroit should land at 27. But Atlanta coming in number 26. Nothing to write home about, nothing to see here, in my opinion. Washington football team, 2-3. I guess, they got to be somewhere. They got 2 wins. You got to put them above the 1-win teams. I guess technically because they got 2 wins, you got to put them above the Detroit Lions. So Washington coming in at number 25 at 2-3 is where they currently sit. Minnesota Vikings at 2-3. This is a team that should be doing better than what they're doing. I'm not sure where their hardships are coming from. Is it coaching? I know a lot of people want to blame the coach. I know a lot of people are saying that they're going to get rid of Zimmerman at the end of this year. Maybe they get rid of him by the middle of this year. But is it really Zimmerman? Or is it that bad contract that they got with Kirk Cousins? There's the question. Minnesota Vikings coming in at number 24. Indianapolis Colts at 1-4. I don't know how they're at number 23. I don't know how they're above a lot of teams. I think that they shouldn't be above a lot of teams. They should be lower on the list. And again, Carson Wentz, should he be the quarterback next year? Should he be the quarterback moving forward? Should they bench him now? He's played decent the last couple of games. Not great, but decent. Better than he started off. He's got a long ways to go in order to prove to me that he should continue on as a starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. I'll say that. Meanwhile, they're coming in at number 23. At number 22, Philadelphia Eagles at 2-3. Here's a team that's kind of a mystery to me. You don't know what you're going to get from week to week. Last week, not that they look good. They didn't. Their defense did. Their offense is what their offense has always been. At least they're consistent at being a little below average. But the defense kind of surprised me last week. I guess their defense is really all they got, and depends on how their defense feels and how much time they spend on the field. Philadelphia coming in at number 22 at 2-3. Number 21, Chicago Bears at 3-2. I'm kind of surprised they're 3-2. No, I do not believe this is about Justin Fields. I don't. Level of competition, and it's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. It's not like the Bears are going to end with a winning record or anything like that. They're going to fall from number 21. That's currently where they sit, the Chicago Bears. Now, moving in at number 20, Denver Broncos, 3-2. Here's a team that's going to fall. Everybody fell in love with them because they were 3-0. They beat a bunch of nobodies. Then when they go up against people who still aren't really all that in a bag of chips, including the Pittsburgh Steelers, they lose. They're not a great team. They're not well coached. And for this roster that everybody keeps boasting and saying how great they are, how they are a Super Bowl favorite, all they are is a quarterback away. Well, folks, they keep getting new quarterbacks, and they're still far away. And again, I will say what I've always said. Elway is the problem with this organization. He can't pick a quarterback. And no, I do not believe the roster is as good as everybody tries to brag and say it is, because they're not. There is nobody on this Denver Bronco roster that makes me say, dang, those are just one quarterback away from being Super Bowl caliber players. No, not at all. I don't see it. All right, now moving on. The next one. Speaking of the Pittsburgh Steelers, this is where they land. Number 19, Big Ben needs to retire. I don't care that they won last week. Look who they beat. Not impressive. And Big Ben's going to have a game every now and then. Every old dog has a day. Pittsburgh and the old dog had his day. 2-3. They'll be lucky if they get very many more victories over the remainder of the season. But meanwhile, right now, they sit at number 19. All right. Now moving on to number 18. And I'm surprised they're this high. And to be honest, I'm surprised they got 2 wins. New England Patriots at 2-3. Bill Belichick, how good of a coach is he? Is he really as good as everybody says? Well, we'll have to wait and see. We're not going to find out the answer this year. They're a team on the rebuild, and he barely got this quarterback, and he's a rookie. So you can't really judge Bill Belichick yet. It's going to be another 2 to 3 years before we see how good Bill is or is not. You got to give him time to develop his quarterback. You got to give him time to build his roster. You got to give him time to figure out what weapons he needs to put around his quarterback. And then, and only then, will we be able to basically look at Bill Belichick and say whether he is or is not the greatest coach of all time. Meanwhile, let's put a pause on Mac Jones. A lot of people want to get rid of him already as well. Look, he's a system quarterback. The system fits him. Again, they got to put the weapons around him, and we got to see what Belichick does, and then we can make a determination on both Bill and Mac Jones to see just how good they actually are. All right, now, moving on to number 17, and hang on a second. My computer is giving me a little bit of fit, so there we go. 17, Carolina Panthers, 3-2. Again, a team that's only going to be able to go as far as Christian McCaffrey can take them. And if Christian McCaffrey doesn't return soon, and I believe we're still a few weeks away, they're in trouble. Because, again, Sam Darnold is who Sam Darnold's always been. For everybody who's beefing him up and talking about how great he was, all of a sudden they backed off that talk. Now they're not talking about him no more. Now they're not saying how great he is. Some people have moved off of him and saying they got to get rid of him. I don't know that they got to get rid of him, but they definitely have to make some decisions. But those decisions can wait until the offseason. Coming in at number 16, New Orleans Saints at 3-2. The Saints, again, everybody wanted to talk about the quarterback change. Everybody wanted to talk about how great it was going to be for the quarterback and how this was the move that needed to get made. And he was going to do so much better in the system for the Saints. He's looked average at best. Jameis Winston is what he is. There's nothing to write home about. Number 15, Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow. They can go as far as Joe Burrow can take them. How far can he take them? Well, that is the question, isn't it? Las Vegas Raiders. This one is a mouthful. The Raiders, they're 3-2, coming in at number 14. Got a coaching change, obvious reasons, lots of things going on there. Got an interim coach now named. Who knows what they're going to look like, what kind of system they're going to run. Is it going to be the same one they've been running? Are they going to, vary it a little bit? Or is this coach going to implement a system that he has in mind instead of what they've been running? But the Raiders have a chance now to recoup now that they don't have all the distractions and problems. Who knows? Maybe we will see the Raiders that we saw the first couple of weeks of the season. Time will tell, but they are coming in at number 13. So hang on a second. I'm having a little problem with my computer page here, so I got to reboot it. My apologies to you. So this thing is going to take a second to reboot. Meanwhile, let's move over to the NBA because that's another thing that I wanted to talk about really quickly, and then we'll come back and finish the final 13 in the NFL Power Rankings. But the NBA, a lot of people are talking about the upcoming season. Obviously, preseason's going on, and there's a lot of talk about the NBA and what they will and they won't when it comes to the Lakers, the Suns, and, of course, you've got all the trials and tribulations with the Brooklyn Nets and all of that stuff. So there's a lot of things that are going on there, and it's kind of crazy because there are so many different stories. I don't even know where to begin because, again, there's a lot of different ways to look at the Brooklyn Nets. There's a lot of different ways to look at that particular situation. I don't want to go too deep into it. I'm not looking to get into a big political conversation. But when it comes to the Brooklyn Nets, remember they're a big three. But here's the thing about that big three that most people don't realize. I said this last year. I'll say it again this year because it still holds true. That big three doesn't need to be a big three to win. Remember, they almost beat the Bucks. It was the fact that by a millimeter Kevin Durant's foot was on the three-point line when he made what would have been the game and series winning shot over the Milwaukee Bucks. So the fact that they just barely missed winning that series and that game is absolutely incredible to me. I look at it and I'm like, man, that is unbelievable. They barely missed it by a shoestring. And the next thing you know, who wins? It's the Milwaukee Bucks, the team that could have lost and should have lost, arguably, that game. So I'm just saying, who knows what is or isn't going to happen? We can only speculate. My speculation tells me that the Brooklyn Nets are the NBA champs. They don't need Kyrie Irving. I get it. The distractions, the problems, the questions, the practice. Will he or won't he even continue to be a part of the team? Will he get traded away because of his stance on COVID and everything that's going on there? He's going to lose a lot of money this year. I believe he stands to lose $16 million. Okay, I get it. I understand it. But the thing is this. When you look at Kyrie Irving, they don't need him to win. You got James Harden. You got Kevin Durant, arguably the best NBA player right now. LeBron James is nowhere near being number one, folks. I don't care how many times you hear the national media guys say that he is. LeBron James is not the best player in the world, and he has not been for the last 3 or 4 years. He hasn't. He's still one of the top 5, but even that's arguable because, again, his age, and I don't think he's going to have the longevity or the physicality to be able to put on the performances that he has put on in years past. But we'll just leave him top 5 just for argument's sake. But either way, you got the best player on the planet, and you have James Harden. And then you have a great supporting cast. A lot of new guys have been brought into the Brooklyn Nets. They are going to probably be the team to beat. And I am not going to move away from that. Again, I'll say it with the caveat that I put in it last year. As long as they stay healthy, they are the team to beat. A lot of people are saying, well, how disrespectful is that to the Milwaukee Bucks? It's not. It's not disrespectful for the simple reason of how can it be disrespectful to the Milwaukee Bucks when they shouldn't have been the champs anyways? Now, isn't it amazing that all last year I was out on an island? I was the only one who was saying how the path that the Bucks and the Phoenix Suns took to get to the NBA Finals was unique, unheard of. It's never happened before. And now all of a sudden, all these national media guys are now jumping on board and reiterating and repeating all the stuff that I said during the playoffs last year. Isn't it amazing that now they are coming on and joining the party? But when I said it all last year, I was the only one standing on an island all by myself, yelling and screaming what now everybody wants to come on board and say. Again, for all the people, if you recall, last year when I was saying how the path that the Bucks and the Suns took to get to the NBA Finals was the easiest path that teams have ever taken, and that it's never in history happened before, where all of the stars on opposing teams were knocked down, and basically all the Suns and all the Bucks had to do was walk into the NBA Finals and then face each other because it's never happened before. And I was the only one screaming it. Everybody else on the national media was basically saying, oh no, injuries are part of the game. A very arrogant announcer, female announcer, on a show with another arrogant announcer was saying how injuries are part of the game. You people that are saying different don't know what you're talking about. You don't know sports. I don't even know why you guys are talking because injuries are a part of the game. How can you dare say that the path that the Bucks and the Suns took to get to the NBA Finals wasn't anything that anybody else hasn't ever done before because injuries are part of the game and it happens all the time? No, it's not. Never have all the stars from all the opposing teams, the actual stars, been knocked out due to injury. And now all of a sudden, all the national media guys, except for these arrogant people, they haven't said it yet, but all the national media guys are coming on board. And now they're all saying exactly what I said all playoffs last year. The Suns were not the best in the West. The Bucks were not the best in the East. So when you have people that sit there and say, how disrespectful is it to the Bucks that they're not even considered to be one of the favorites to come out of the East, and they're not, and they shouldn't be, because they're not. They are marginally the 5th or the 6th best team in the East. Easily they're about 5 or 6. The Suns are marginally about the same. The 5th or the 6th, maybe even the 7th best team that could possibly come out of the West. Again, unless the NBA gods do what they did last year and knock all the stars out, and make it to where the Suns and the Bucks can walk back into the NBA Finals. They're not going to get there by playing and earning it because they don't have the staff or the players to earn their way into the NBA Finals, not against a bunch of healthy teams, because the only reason both of these teams were there last year is because all the other teams were not healthy, and these were the two healthiest teams in the NBA, and that's the reason why they met in the NBA Finals. So you're not going to have that happen this year, and somebody actually said that again this morning and reiterated again what I've always said. He backed away from it really quickly. I think somebody might have said something in his ear real quick, but he still kind of walked back to it eventually. Because again, at the end of the day, the Bucks were not the best in the East, Suns not best in the West. So when people say, why is everybody screaming that the Brooklyn Nets are the odds-on favorite to make it out of the East, not to mention win the NBA Finals, and how disrespectful is it to the Milwaukee Bucks? And then they continue to ask the same question over and over and over, which is, what else does Milwaukee have to do to prove themselves? It's simple. They didn't prove themselves last year because they didn't win their way into the NBA Finals. So if you're asking the question, what do the Milwaukee Bucks have to do to prove themselves, to stop being looked over when it comes to being the best in the East? It's simple. They got to win real games that matter, and they got to win in the playoffs, and they got to win against healthy teams, and they got to actually earn their way into the NBA Finals. And then, and only then, if they earn their way into the NBA Finals and then they win, only then will they get the respect that apparently you Milwaukee Buck fans think that you're due, because you're not due. Because it doesn't matter whether the Suns would have won last year or the Bucks would have won last year. It didn't matter who the winner was going to be. They were not going to get the respect that you're looking for them to get, because neither one of those teams was anywhere close to being the best in the West or the East. So again, I answered the question about Milwaukee. Earn it. Suns, same thing. Suns fans, and I'm one of them, but I'm not one of the ones that says this stuff. Suns fans wanting to know, why are they getting overlooked and disrespected? Why is everybody talking about the LA Lakers coming out of the West? And again, I will also jump on the bandwagon of, why are you talking about the LA Lakers? But that's a discussion we'll have here in a second. Suns walked your way in only because every other team was injured and the basketball gods knocked down all the superstars. So you were losing. Remember, against the Lakers, Anthony Davis healthy. You were already down 2-1. You were about to go down 3-1. Anthony Davis goes down. All of a sudden, you win game 4 and you win the series. Again, an assist by the NBA gods took out the star, Anthony Davis, the one remaining star in your way. All you had left was LeBron James and a bunch of nameless Lakers, and the Suns beat them. And then they continue to go up against starless teams, and they were able to walk their way into the NBA Finals, even though the Clippers, without Kawhi Leonard and only Paul George, they even lost Kubac, their center, and yet they still were able to take the Suns to 6 games. The Suns had to struggle against a team without its superstar and without their starting center, and yet they still had to struggle to go to 6 games, to win, to get to the NBA Finals. So that just shows you that the Suns were not the best team in the West. There is your proof. And your further proof is going to be when the Suns do not get to the Western Conference Finals this year. And again, I am a Suns fan, but I'm realistic. And that's what's going to happen, because they are arguably maybe the 6th, maybe the 7th best team in the West. Lakers, everybody's screaming about them. You got a lot of media guys trying to tell you they are the NBA champs this year. No, they're not. A bunch of old guys and Russell Westbrook, a guy who can't play team ball. He's all about me, and my triple-double. And all of a sudden, you want me to believe that Russell Westbrook all of a sudden is going to start to play ball, team ball, not worry about his stats, not to mention be able to run up and down the court with a bunch of old guys who aren't going to be able to catch up with him or keep up with him. Not to mention Russell Westbrook, who plays iso ball, is going to go from baseline to baseline all by himself, and he's not going to worry about passing or doing anything at all. You're not going to get a half-court game out of Russell Westbrook. You're not going to get a team player out of Russell Westbrook, and you're not going to get a bunch of over-the-hill guys to be able to compete against a bunch of NBA elites. Lakers, look, if they make the playoffs, and maybe they do, they're going to probably be in the 8th position. I don't know where everybody gets the idea that the Lakers are the odds-on favorite to win the West, not to mention have a shot at winning the NBA Finals. And I'll play devil's advocate. Let's say the Lakers win the West and they go up against the Brooklyn Nets. And again, that's me being polite, but realistically, not going to happen. But let's be polite and say it does. They would get destroyed by the Brooklyn Nets. Destroyed. So this stuff about the Lakers is absolutely crazy to me. A lot more basketball talk to come here in the near future. Make no mistake about it. But some of the stuff that I've been hearing about basketball has been absolutely driving me crazy lately because these guys, they're just saying a lot of stuff that's just like crazy. And this Laker talk, crazy. Suns talk, crazier. Milwaukee Buck fans, crazy. I mean, folks, I'm not saying that the Suns are going to be a bad team, just saying they're not the best team in the West. I'm not saying the Lakers are going to be a bad team. I'm just saying they're not the best in the West. That's all I'm saying. Again, there'll be a lot more to talk about. We are, roughly 6 days away from opening night for the NBA. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great season. But I am still saying the Brooklyn Nets are the odds-on favorite to be the NBA champs this year. All right, going back to the power rankings for football, I got my little computer glitch issue here fixed. Carolina Panthers coming in at number 12 at 3-2. I was talking about them a minute ago, and again, the big thing about the Carolina Panthers is they're only going to be able to go as far as, again, not Sam Darnold, but as Christian McCaffrey can take them. And they're probably going to fall from number 12. They'll end up in the middle of the pack. I think they're probably going to end up at about number 18 or so at the end of the season. Tennessee Titans, number 11. Another team enjoying 3-2 record. They're number 11 now. They're too inconsistent. Maybe they stay somewhere here between 11 and 15, but they're too inconsistent. They're not a threat, and I don't think they should be this close to the top 10, but it's where they are right now. Kansas City at number 10, they're going to fall. They're continuing to get worse. They're going backwards. I don't think, that they really are going to be able to fix all the holes that they have. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Are they even going to be a playoff team? I don't know. I really don't. I don't think so. I really don't. Cleveland Browns, number 9, 3-2 record. They're better than their record indicates, but we're only 5 games in. And I think Cleveland is probably right where they need to be right now. Baltimore, I would have them higher than number 8. And again, no doubt in my mind that a candidate for MVP is the quarterback, and he absolutely has every right to be in that conversation for the MVP. There is no doubt about that. Lamar Jackson should be an MVP candidate at this point in the season. LA Chargers 4-1. I think people have too much faith in this team. They're not as good as they say. Again, I said a wild card team. Maybe I get proven wrong and they win their division, but I'm not really keen on them. I don't think the Chargers are as good as everybody says. But 4-1, that's where they are. I think they have the advantage of a soft schedule. Dallas Cowboys, again, in my book, number 6, absolutely not. Middle of the road team. I said it all season long, all preseason long. I still think they're going to be a middle of the road team. Somewhere between 13 and 15 is where I predicted, and I think that's where they're going to end up. They're not the best team in football, even though all these NBA analysts want you to believe that, but they want you to believe that every year because that's just the way these guys are. Every year it's Cowboys, 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 Cowboys. Every year they're wrong, and then eventually one year they're finally going to be right, and they're going to tell you how they've been saying it all along. Yeah, if you say something 5 million times, eventually at some point you're going to be right. Doesn't make you a smart guy. Sorry. Cowboys 4-1. Soft schedule. Am I impressed because they beat Tampa Bay? No, Tampa Bay is not anything. And I've said it all along, and I said it before every national media guy. And now, all of a sudden, all the national media guys are kind of looking and saying, maybe I am a little skeptical of Tampa Bay after all. But yet, I've been on that since day one. But they beat Tampa Bay. Big deal. They beat New York. Really? I'm supposed to be impressed because you beat the New York Giants? Yeah, okay. Green Bay Packers, 4-1, number 5. Well, look, there's only 32 teams. Green Bay's 4-1. They deserve to be in the top 10, so having them at number 5 right now, not a bad position for them to be. Tampa Bay, 4-1. Yeah. Well, again, your schedule, not tough. It's not like you played a bunch of big teams. You haven't played anybody, really. I'm not impressed. 4-1. Sometimes in the beginning of the season, you see teams, you see their records, and what national media guys do is they immediately jump on them because their record is this, and they forget there's a thing called level of competition. Who have they played so far? It's amazing how, that comes into play at certain times, and then at other times when they want somebody to believe something, they forget to talk about that. But again, Tampa Bay, number 4 at 4-1. Well, your record puts you there for now, so you deserve to be there for now. So that's where we'll leave it. They deserve to be there for now. Number 3, LA Rams, 4-1. Absolutely, they deserve to be a top 3 team. But they got a problem at quarterback. I keep saying it. I'm the only one saying it. Nobody else is saying it. Eventually, hopefully, the national media guys will catch up with me. Apparently, I'm always ahead of them. But Matthew Stafford is seriously inconsistent, overthrowing, underthrowing, holding on to the ball too long. He looks like a deer in headlights all of a sudden. I'm not impressed with Matthew Stafford at all. He had a couple of good games in the very beginning, and he has gone backwards ever since. I don't see anything in regards to Matthew Stafford that makes me say that he was the missing piece for the LA Rams. And again, I could also make the argument that he's going to be their Achilles heel. But right now, them being number 3 makes perfect sense. Cardinals being number 2 at 5-0, again, makes perfect sense. They fought hard. They played hard. They deserve to be number 2. You could even make the argument for them to be number 1, but they're never going to be because the national media guys have been trying to sell you since preseason that the Buffalo Bills are number 1. They haven't beat anybody. They beat up on Kansas City. That's not saying much, folks. Who else have they beat on? Nobody. Their strength of schedule hasn't been anything. They haven't went 2 weeks in a row playing top 10 teams. And until you do that, to me, that's what it takes to show me that you got a real team. And Buffalo, their soft schedule hasn't done anything for me in regards to telling me that I've been wrong about them. So again, I'm not impressed with Buffalo, but they deserve to be in the top 5. Definitely not number 1. I'd put the Cardinals above them. All right, that does it for the power rankings going into week 6. You guys, look, enjoy the rest of your day. We will be back at it again tomorrow. I went over on time, I'm sure, so my executive producer is probably going to be mad. But meanwhile, again, you guys have a great day. We will talk tomorrow.